Hi, this is Celeste. I'm an astrologer, coach, and an intuitive. And today I'm going to talk to you about the new moon in Aquarius. So let's get started. Great. So this new moon is going to be on Thursday, February 11th and 11:05 on the Pacific Standard Time at 23 Aquarius. So I absolutely love this quote for this new moon. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And this is a quote from former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. Now, she was a Libra, but it just speaks to me on the essence of this new moon, as one of the features are Venus and Jupiter are conjunct. Our two planetary um, benefics are coming together. So there is this sense of beauty, joy, optimism. It's like we're sitting on Santa Claus's lap. Don't forget to make a wish. So today's agenda, we're just going to talk about why do we work with the moon phases and the longer cycles, the moon phase families? What is the benefit? I'm going to talk a little bit about Aquarius and the sign and its archetypes, then get into the chart of this new moon and what it means for you based on your zodiac sign and your rising sign. So the moon phases. The moon phases are always, we're always talking about the relationship between the sun and the moon, our two luminaries. We call them planets in astrology. The word planet means wandering star. And so the ancients called the sun and the moon planets, just like Mercury, Venus, Mars, etc. So in astrology, the sun and the moon are two of the most important things of the big three in our personal charts. The sun rules our consciousness, our identity, our outward expression. It's our will, our essence, our ego. Most people can relate to their sun sign. Um, there are some who don't for various reasons that can be explained in their particular natal charts, but it's our core essence. It's what people who get to really know us can see our sun signs. Now, the moon rules the subconscious. It's our feelings, behaviors, um, it's our habits. A lot of times people maybe aren't as clued into their moon signs. It's how we need to be nurtured. So the beauty of working with the astrology in general, as well as with the moon phases, is that we can help us make the unconscious conscious when we really start to lean into these phases and get in touch with ourselves. Yeah, so what happens during the moon phases? So every month, we get a chance to check in with the moon at the new moon phase when the sun and moon are standing together. And at night, we have a dark sky. It's a time to go inward. And the seeds are planted during this time. It's a time of new beginnings where anything is possible. And the beauty of the moon phases is that we have a new one that is a hard aspect every week of the month. And the word month comes from month. So a month is a month. And we have, 12 to 13 new moons every year. So most people, you know, who are salaried get paid every other week, so you get 26 payments, just like We have a new moon and a full moon every other week. And in the United States, we're on a Gregorian or a sun-based calendar, but the ancients often worked with the moon as their calendar. So for the first 2 weeks, the moon gains light. It's a time when we start to take action to move our intentions, our dreams, our goals forward. At the first quarter moon, there is the sun and the moon are at right angles. There is a crisis point. It's a week in. It's a time to make adjustments. What we have been working on starts to have some visibility in the world. And then there's another week or so as the light continues to grow till we get to the full moon, where the sun and moon are in opposition. They're standing at opposite sides, as far apart as they can be, so they see each other fully. All is illuminated between the unconscious and the conscious, the sun and the moon. It's a time when emotions are high. Um, you could just feel the energy of the full moon, where people are more agitated, hospitals are full, the police are very busy, and people who work with the public, especially like bus drivers and you know other types of people who deal with moving masses of people around, can really brace themselves or be aware that it's going to get a little extra during these times. It's also a time to release and forgive. So the full moon is just such a beautiful time, and people have celebrated at this time throughout history. And then our celestial mother starts to lose her light as the moon starts to wane over the next 2 weeks. And again, at the third quarter moon, it's a time to clean things up. Another crisis of action with that 90-degree angle. It's a great time to find rewards and reap consequences. So after that, the moon just keeps reducing, and we go into the balsamic phase, and it's a time of rest before a new cycle begins. And one of the beauties of this, I've been in corporate America for 25 plus years. I'm unfortunately, I have hyperachiever tendencies, and my Aries moon just wants to go, go, go. So working with these moon cycles has really helped me to stop just all this sun focused action and work to also do the release of the energy at the end of the cycle. And I have found myself more success. I've had the most success ever in my career. I'm more at peace and at ease. I've given up. I'm going to tell on myself. I've given up my wine habit. I used to many times a week, sometimes 7, enjoy a glass or 2, sometimes 3 of wine at night. I have given that up at the solar eclipse, and I don't miss it, frankly. Now, yeah, I don't miss it. So now I will enjoy my wine when I'm out in public. So, I told on my own self. And I did that with the moon cycles. So let me go back, apologies. So on here are the dates for this particular moon cycle. So the moon cycle it's in a month, this, 29-day cycle. And you can download the slides. There'll be a link in the YouTube video where you can grab the slides when you sign up to my newsletter. But this is something else that a lot of people aren't as familiar with. This is the moon phase family cycle. And this was introduced by an astrologer who noticed it, Dietrich Pessin. And the moon comes to the same, approximately the same degree. So in the same sign, same degree every 9 months for a 27 and a quarter month cycle. So it's a larger cycle. So in a particular like month, you may decide you want to, start a new habit, like start working out. Let's say you start working out on this new moon in, and that can be something that's a smaller thing. You keep going for that new moon and it takes hold and you just keep on going. But there are larger projects that we work on, and these moon phase families are ideal for working on larger projects. I use them to launch my astrology business. Astrology is my calling and my purpose, to share information to help people expand their lives and ignite their passions. So I use this larger cycle to launch my business from, yes. And so it's 9 months. So it's a gestational cycle. It's like giving a baby, giving birth to a baby. So if you get pregnant this week, um, hello, happy, happy birthday to your Scorpio child in November. Yes. So writing a book is one of the things that is also you can think of with a larger cycle. Launching a new product, um, like having a real transformation of your body. Say you need to lose 20 pounds. This is like something that could take you, a longer cycle to do. And you'll see visible in the world what you start now in November of this year. And then in another 9 months, all will be illuminated in August of 2022 in the Leo cycle. So what a perfect time to celebrate when the when the sun will be in Leo at that time. And then at the last quarter, it's time to, get your rewards or consequences if something, unfortunate started. Like say you started planning a bank heist, that could be when you get arrested in May of 2023 if you get away with it for a while. So I hope this is clear. You can download the slides to see these dates. So February 11th, this week at 23 Aquarius, we have the new moon. In 9 months, the gestational cycle at 19 Aquarius, very close, will be the first quarter moon. The sun will be in Scorpio. And so they'll be at a 90-degree angle. The moon will be 90 degrees ahead of the sun. In August 11th of 2022, the sun will be in Leo, the moon will be in Aquarius. It will be a full moon in opposition. And at the last quarter, the moon will be 90 degrees behind the sun. So the sun will be in Taurus and the moon will be in 21 Aquarius at about the same degree. And so it's how easy it is to know which signs things will be in, because they're all fixed signs. Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Scorpio are the 4 fixed signs. So I got a little, I started enjoying myself a little too much talking about that. So sorry, I got a little verbose during that discussion of I usually like to be succinct, but bear with me. Thank you. Mercury's in Aquarius and it's retrograde. So I'm rethinking in my own mind as I'm talking. So anyway, why also do we work with these moon cycles? Because there are 12 different signs. So each month each new moon, we have an opportunity to work with another one of these energies, these psychological, archetypal energies that each of the 12 signs represent. Astrology is thousands of years old. The ancients, ascribed human behavior on earth to what was going on in the heavens, and through thousands of years came up with this system that still works today. So each each um each new moon, we have an opportunity to work with one of these cycles. And for this cycle, we get to work with the cycle of Aquarius, which is about I know. Aquarius represents futuristic thinking, the higher mind, knowledge, the, 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 the water of knowledge, even though it's an air sign. Yeah, so just speaking to the new moon again. So now for the rest of the talk, we're going to talk just about this new moon in Aquarius. So at the new moon, the sun and moon are standing together. They're conjunct at the same exact degree and minutes. I love how one of my mentors, Bronwyn Simpson, talks about how they're whispering secrets to each other. So they're starting something new. And sometimes, so these cycles are working whether you work with them or not. So sometimes you may not realize the seeds that are being planted, which is why it's so beneficial to lean in and listen to what your heart is and your heart is telling you during this cycle. It's a time of beginnings. Anything is possible with the new moon. It's a great time to, think big, make plans. You can refine them at the first quarter moon, but at this time, just let yourself dream. Set intentions, make wishes, especially for this new moon. You better believe I'm going to be making new moon wishes, within moments of 11:05 a.m. on February 11th, because as I mentioned, Venus and Jupiter are standing next to each other. It's a cosmic Santa Cosmic Santa wants to bring you an early Christmas present. So don't forget to make your wishes. Have a ritual. Take things slow. It's still dark at night. So it's not a time to really rush to get things forward. This is when we contemplate and plan. You start to move things forward in about 2 to 3 days when there's more light at the crescent moon. Wonderful time to initiate new projects. New relationships often start at a new moon. Great time to quit habits. When you quit, when you take anything out of your life, it's an opportunity to bring something new in. Like I told on myself about my, I quit my nightly wine, and now my treat at night is a wonderful cup of tea and having more energy and sleeping better. So it's a wonderful time to begin new routines, plan business launches. Wow, I'm really surprised I told on myself, especially at the balsamic moon. You're usually telling yourself on the, disseminating moon, but that's neither here nor there. A secret, which is not really that big of a secret, is out. So anyway, let's talk more about the side of Aquarius. So Aquarius is an air sign, and sometimes people get confused because its symbol is the water bearer, but this is the water of knowledge. Mercury is at its highest functions in the sign of Aquarius. So, I know many people with Mercury and Aquarius who are extremely bright. Now, if someone has it and they're not, there's some other reason potentially in their chart, or maybe you just don't see their genius. But oftentimes people with Mercury and Aquarius are very, very bright. Yeah, what else was I going to say? Yeah, Mercury is what's called exalted in Aquarius, meaning it has a special seat at the table. Its processes work the best in this sign. Now it's fixed sign, so fixed air, fixed signs maintain. People with fixed signs can be very stubborn and hold on to what they think they know, or their way of being. So with air Aquariuses can also think what they know is the absolute truth, and it may not necessarily be so. So they sometimes can really dig in their heels. But Aquarius people are often very nice people, as it's a sign of the collective. It's an air sign, so air likes to connect with others, and especially Aquarius likes to connect with ideas. So in traditional astrology, Saturn was the ruler of Aquarius. Saturn was the farthest planet you can see with your eyes. So we didn't even know about um, Uranus, which is the modern ruler, until the mid 1700s, when telescopes and other things were invented. So Uranus is now the modern ruler of Aquarius, but there's certain techniques when using the traditional ruler is required. And so just know that Saturn's now in Aquarius, very, very comfortable in this sign, can work really well to bring boundaries and restrictions to us, but also bringing things into the material world is something Saturn does. So Saturn is my friend. He sits right on my sun, so I have made friends with him as the alternative. It's not a good thing. So anyway, Aquarius also rules the 11th house of hopes and dreams, friends and groups. So it's another reason to use this Aquarius new moon to make your wishes, and Jupiter is ready for you. So some of the archetypes of the sign of Aquarius are the humanitarian. You also can find people who are very concerned with the collective through activism or revolutionary. They're fighting for their cause. The rebel, the eccentric, the exile, the outcast. It really is a sign of extremes in terms of, the collective versus the individual. So there are people all over the spectrum, you can see with Aquarius. It's also, as I mentioned, the genius, the inventor, the visionary. Aquarians can often see the future. Oprah Winfrey is one of my favorite Aquarians. She, was able to bring all sorts of things to her audience that were outside of what they potentially saw for their own lives. So think individuality, freedom, open-mindedness on the positive side. Also, when sometimes this energy needs to correct, like a rebel without a cause, just being a rebel just to be a rebel with no real reason. Being detached, sometimes you can get really too much in your mind and disconnect from the emotions with the sign of Aquarius, or a lot of Aquarius energy. So it's a reminder to come out of your head and into your heart, and don't be unbending. It's a fixed sign. So remember to be kind and care for our fellow man as we move through this, and woman. Why am I saying man? Our fellow people. I'm a work in progress. Okay, so there's several features. This is the chart of this new moon in Aquarius. The first thing that jumps out is, look at all those planets in Aquarius. We have a 6-planet stellium. It's a pileup of this air energy. It's a lot of air. So it's really, really important to try to stay grounded. Get back into your body, rub your feet in the grass, go for a walk. Don't just stay in your head, because if we're too much in our heads, we can get scattered, easily distracted, nervous energy can be too much air. Just start talking like apparently I'm doing. I'm kind of talking a lot during this. So it's all this air. It's I have an excuse. But there's also 8 planets in fixed energy because Uranus and Mars are in Taurus, another fixed sign. So fixed energy, really wants to hold on to their point. Really not a good time to get into an argument because you're probably just going to go round, round, round in circles. Also, there's no fire in the sky during this new moon. So we may find during this month that we're tired. I know I have been feeling my energy kind of a little bit drained with no fire. Fire is the life-giving force, the fun of life, the action. So remember to move your chi during this moon cycle. Another key feature is Mercury is in retrograde. So Mercury, the trickster, is here in Aquarius, the sign at its highest potential, its highest ability to work with the mental processes. So get ready. I think this is an intense Mercury retrograde cycle. I'm really concerned about the Saturn square Uranus, as Uranus rules the internet and mass communication. So, if you store everything in the cloud, you might want to save some important documents on your computer hard drive or, print it out, because we could have some during this year at some point, some interruptions in the internet. In fact, a week or so ago, there was on the East Coast, there was a Verizon outage that affected multiple states. So I'm going to do another video about what Saturn square Uranus means for each sign, but it's happening 3 times this year. It's the featured player of 2021. So, boundaries meets the lightning bolt, smashing boundaries, is one of the features, and it happens for the first time during this Aquarius new moon cycle. We also have Mercury square Mars. Now, Mercury is in retrograde, so I hope this Mercury square Mars won't be as intense as it can usually be, because when Mercury squares Mars, that's when people start saying things maybe they shouldn't have, and can be very potentially aggressive. Mars is the planet of fighting and fornication. It's our drive, it's our aggression. And when you add that to how you communicate, unkind words can be said, or things you cannot necessarily take back. So use that Mercury retrograde energy to slow down, rethink what you're going to say before it comes out of your mouth, is my suggested advice. Also, Venus conjunct Jupiter, I already mentioned that. It is a beautiful, beautiful aspect. It's at the very same degree. They're both at 12. 12, and 12 is 3 in numerology. So that's a beautiful number that represent this Aquarius, the group. So make sure to come together. Venus is a sign that rules our social relations, our interconnection, our friendships. So make sure to connect with your friends during this time. And Jupiter's our Santa Claus. So as I said, I think this will be the 3rd time I said, make some new moon wishes. Think big. Your dreams can come true. This is, I pulled the Milk and Honey card, was one of the cards for my reading on every Sunday morning. I'm on Instagram at 9:30 a.m. PST at Astrology by Celeste is my Instagram handle. And I pulled the Milk and Honey card, which speaks to being your authentic self, Aquarius, and it bring in abundance to you. So this is a great time to move your vision forward. The last slide, this is the last slide about the new moon chart. It's the North Node. The North Node speaks to where we're going to, and it's in the sign of Gemini. And the South Node speaks to where we need to move away from, and it's in the sign of Sagittarius. The nodes are always in opposite signs and on an axis of a specific topic. And Gemini and Sagittarius are the axis of communication, the big mind, the little mind, Gemini, the big mind, Sagittarius. So we need to move away from old stories that maybe we thought were the way things were, but look at new facts to see, what we need to release from that old story is what's going on with these nodes. And then you have a year and a half to work with this energy. But on this specific new moon, it's conjunct a royal fixed star, Rigel. So Rigel is the educator who brings knowledge to others. It speaks to mass communications, the zeitgeist, and dispersing information to improve society. So this is another reason why I'm very concerned about mass communication interruptions with that Saturn and Uranus square, because the North Node is right on Rigel for this new moon on the 11th, and the first square is on the 17th. So take it seriously to make sure you save your documents and, think about what would you do if the internet went out for a while. Yeah, anyway, hopefully it's not going to happen. Hopefully it'll just be maybe like some new invention about a new medical invention that'll help us get through this COVID stuff faster. But I think we'll see a lot more, people resisting the constraints of Saturn. Okay. Now let me speed this up. I'm just talking and talking and talking. I will blame all this air planets. So now we're going to talk about what does this mean for each of the signs. And I want to talk about this first. So I recommend that you set intentions at every single new moon, and set at least 3. You can set more, but set at least 3, and do both short and long range. So short that you can, complete in the month cycle, and the long range so that you can utilize that 9-month cycle. I mean, we are here to grow. We are not here to be stagnant. So always be thinking about how you can grow yourself in some way or another. Now, this is a good cycle to take action, set intentions and actions to achieve your hopes and your dreams. Commit to helping your community. I mean, if you have the finances available, there are so many people who are really suffering. Can you donate every month, and if to an organization that speaks to you? And if not, how about you do something and volunteer for your community in some way? So get involved. It's so important, especially with Saturn and Aquarius, not to be isolated. Make sure you stay connected with the community and the collective. Perfect for networking on with an online social group. And think about, with this Saturn-Uranus square, where do you need to break free from old structures? It can just be a mental thing, or maybe you do need to break free from an old group or relationship or habit or something. So think about where you need to break free. I think that's really one of the key features of this, in addition to being an opportunity to experience milk and honey. And how can you advance your vision? And if you don't know, if say you have no idea what you want to do, where you want to go with your life, set a timer for 10 minutes and just write. A lot of people recommend handwriting with, a journal. I can't read my writing, so, it's really a waste of my time to write something that I can go back and can't read and have to try to decipher. So I am left-handed. It broke my mother's heart because she had beautiful penmanship. Mine's terrible. So I type on my iPad. I do all my new moon and all my journaling on my iPad so that I can go back and read it. You should always go back and read what you wrote. And one of my mentors, Deborah Silverman, says to write what you, not write, speak it out loud. Speak out loud what you wrote in your journal. So that's a great things to do as well. So think about this when you're setting your intentions. And again, you can download the slides if you join my spiritual newsletter list. So anyway, let's move on. So this is, what does it mean for your sign? So read, listen to, and take notes on not just your sun sign, but also your rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, you need your exact birth time and place, and you can go to astro.com and download your chart, or CoStar is the app that's really popular, or the Pattern is very popular, where you can get your chart. I think you can get your chart from the Pattern. I know you can get it from CoStar or astro.com for free. So take a breath. We'll start with Aquarius, since this is a new moon in Aquarius, and this is your new moon, Aquarius. It's in your first house for Aquarius sun and Aquarius rising. So make sure to really spend time to think about how you want to move forward, what you want to break free from. The first house is about the self, what your soul's rising to, your appearance, your vitality. What do you need to do to feel more vital and alive? We got, well, we may have many lives to live, but you only have one right now. So live it as well as you can. For Capricorns, this should feel very natural. It's in the second house of resources. Set intentions on how you want your money to grow. Do you want to, save more money, invest money? Think about your personal resources and set intentions around that. For Sagittarius, it's a great time to connect with your siblings or set intentions about those relationships. And maybe you need to set boundaries or in some way with them, or it's also great for networking with your local community. And for Scorpio, so the fixed signs, this is an intense year for all the fixed signs. So Aquarius, it's a big, big year for Aquarius, as we had a new start with the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction on the solstice at 0 Aquarius last year. Also, Scorpio is another fixed sign. So this is at your root, at your core. Make intentions about how you want to have a better relationship with yourself, your parents, your home. Do you want to do something to beautify your home or make it more comfortable? Maybe, I don't know, you want to move. This is a good time to set intentions and start putting things in action around that. Libra, lucky you. Libra is another air sign. So there's an opportunity of ease between this new moon for you in your 5th house of joy. It's about all the things you bring you joy: children, dating, sex, creativity, fun. Start a new hobby, have sexy time with your partner. If you're single, what are you going to do? And if you want to not be single, start thinking about, setting intentions on how you're going to pursue a relationship. Really enjoy this time. And hey, remember, Santa's listening, Libra. And Virgo, oh, this is so natural for you to think about how you want to serve your daily life and health, setting intentions around that, Virgo. So you enjoy. Leo, this is a year where you could have a relationship or meet someone that sticks if you're single, or if you are partnered. Really take some time to think about, how do you want to improve your current relationships, or if you need to set boundaries, or if you need to break free from your current relationships. Now, I'm certainly not recommending divorce, but if you're just dating someone and something's whispering in your ear that it's not working or it's not right, listen to your inner voice, Leos, because it really it's talking to you, and it's telling you what you need to hear. Cancers, I'm a Cancer rising. It's time to go to the basement of the 8th house and look at your shadows. What do you need to excavate? Is there something that you need to deal with in your secret self? Also a great time to think about shared resources. Cancer, likes to nurture others. Do you need to put some limitations on how you're are taking in resources from others? Your debt, is this something where you need to reduce? So think about these sorts of things. Gemini, it's in your 9th house. So Gemini, this is so natural. You love to expand your mind. Maybe you want to sign up for a new course, or decide you're going to tackle a new area of study in your field. Astrology is 9th house in traditional astrology. So maybe think about signing up, and maybe you'll want to take my Moon Mastery course when it launches in May. So you can add that to your list of things you might want to investigate. Taurus, another fixed sign, a big year for Tauruses, as Uranus is in your sign. I'm a Sun Taurus. This Saturn Uranus square is already feeling it. But yeah, this is a time to think about your career. Do you need to break free? If you want a different job, or you want to add to your income, start making plans, set intentions. Use that 9-month gestational cycle. If you're not sure what you want to do, start now, and each month you can add on to grow on how you want to maybe get a promotion in your current job, change jobs, change careers. The sky is the limit for Taurus. Yeah, it's a fixed sign that doesn't like change, but Uranus does not come to play. If your inner self is telling you something needs to change, something needs to change. Do not ignore the call. Aries, yeah, it's about friends and social groups. Although Aries like to sometimes do things alone, really make sure that you're connecting with others. Also, yeah, think about your hopes and dreams during this time. Remember the wishes. Aries sextiles Aquarius, and so when the planets have sex, there's an opportunity. It's not a given. When they're trine, it's like it's an air. It's ease and flow. It's almost effortless. But when they sextile, there's an opportunity to access this energy. And who knows, somebody may come into your life. If someone suggests joining a group during this time, sometimes these things come from others. Listen, really give it some thought. And Pisces, oh, this should feel so comfortable in the house of mysticism. Now, this is the house of self-undoing. So if there is a bad habit, Pisces, you need to get rid of, or if you're being too isolated, maybe, it's a time to go inward and think what you need to change in order to release maybe some of those chains that bind you. Also, great energy for doing something spiritual, meditating. Maybe you want to start like a new practice around self-care and nurturing the 12th house is also the mental health. Nurture your mental health, Pisces. Great. So that's what it means for you. Both the sun, read both your sun and your rising. If they're the same, they're the same. I talked about setting intentions. And lastly, oh, we're wrapping it up. Sorry for talking so long, but if you hung in there, thank you. So anyway, here are some resources. So the moon phase families was first uncovered by Dietrich Pessin. If you are an astrologer, this book is dense, and she really goes through these cycles, as well as has charts for like 100 years of these cycles. It's really a deep book. It goes into eclipses as well. It's a wonderful book. But if you're not an astrologer but just interested, Frank Clifford, he's an astrologer who wrote a nice and concise article with Dietrich about these cycles. So you can just Google that. 3 books that I like about the moon are both New Moon Astrology by Jan Spiller and Moonology. Talk specifically about, what intentions to set around these new moons. Moonology also goes into the full moon, so it's a nice book. There's also a companion oracle deck, which a wonderful friend gave to me as a gift, and I pull cards every new first quarter, full, and last quarter moon for guidance. And lastly, Stephen Forrest. This is a pretty dense book that goes a lot into the moon, and more talking about the cycles in terms of when you are born, what moon phase you're born around. But it gets into a lot of depth about the moon and why over time people decided on the number of 8 for the moon cycles. And the number of 8 is a manifestation number. So another reason why working with the moon is great for manifestation. And oh, the last slide. Fantastic. So where to find me? So my business is Astrology by Celeste. There's my website, astrologybyceleste.com. Subscribe to my mailing list. I'm often sending out extra goodies to people on my mailing list. You can download my free Sync with the Moon guide, book a reading, or Instagram lives are every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. I'm also going to be having 3 events coming up in the next few weeks I think it's February 19th, 26th, and March 4th, where I'm going to do live events where people can just ask questions about their charts or ask me and I'll pull cards for you. I also work a lot with oracle cards. I'm intuitive and a channel. So you can join those events. You can check out my events page on my website. But yeah, I highly recommend, it's really important to have, I suggest everyone should have a reading, especially this year. And if you go to the same astrologer all the time, I really suggest, checking out different astrologers, getting other points of view. One I would highly recommend is Celeste, myself. So if you're interested, book a reading. Readings are on sale until February 28th or 29th, whatever the last day of this month is. And then the prices are going to go up. So if you're interested, book a reading before that happens. I would love to. I also, if you can't afford a reading, I also every month I give away a free Astro Oracle reading, and you can get that link on my Instagram page to enter that drawing. So thank you so much. I'm so thankful for you, anyone who took the time to listen to this. I hope you felt this guidance connect with you, and that you set something in motion that makes your life happier, healthier, and more inspired. And yeah, blessings to you and all my best. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye.